Hi, I'm Carolyn from O2Bstamping.com, and I'm excited today to show you how to make the shaker card. You can see I have two of them. That's because there are two different sentiments that you can use in the Painter's Palette stamp set. There's actually three, but these two sort of fit the window a little bit better, so those are the two that I've made. So I am going to start by bringing out some of the cardstock that I need. So I started with Whisper White, 8.5 by 5.5, and then used my bone folder to give it a nice good crease. And then to add the background, this is the Peekaboo Peach. This piece measures 4 by 5.25. So that's 4 by 5.25. And then I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to bring out this piece. I'm also going to use a cushion under this just to get a nice good imprint on my card. So I'm using the Archival Basic Black ink on this project. Let's zoom out a little bit here. There, that would be better. And I'm actually going to pick this up and ink the stamp this way. I want to be sure that I've got it well inked. You want to especially watch the top of the easel and the feet of the easel. Make sure they're inked up really well. And then we're going to add it to our card. Okay. Then I'm going to choose a sentiment. I'm either going to work with the Our Friendship is a Work of Art, or Your Idea to Have a Birthday was Simply a Stroke of Genius. I think I'm going to go with the birthday because I'm always looking for birthday cards. So ink this up. I would like to check and make sure it's inked up well. And I'm going to add this a little bit up closer to the top so that I have room for my shakers at the bottom without it cutting off the sentiment. Okay. Now the two colors that I've used in this card were actually inspired by a card that I had seen. So I'm going to be using the Sweet Sugar Plum as well as Peekaboo Peach. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper and just place that over my paper piercing pad so I don't get ink on it. Also, I want it to be able to stamp off. So I'm going to start with the large paint stroke, and I'm going to do this, my Sweet Sugar Plum. Stamp off, stamp here, stamp off. Then I'm going to bring in the little dots, stamp off. And obviously this can just be random, like anywhere you want. Just try to remember to stamp off each time. Then I'm going to bring in my small splash of color, and I'm going to use the Peekaboo Peach. I do want to mention I have actually trimmed around some of these because they did have kind of a wide margin on mine of rubber, and so I kept getting little shadows. So just be careful of that. One of the things that you can do to eliminate that a bit is to pick your stamp pad up and kiss it like so, instead of pressing down into the ink pad. Remember again to stamp off. And okay, so even though I've trimmed it, you might be able to see the little shadow right there. It's caused by that extra there we go, extra rubber right around the edge of that. So just beware of that. If you feel like you need to trim it, go ahead and do that, or just try not to rock it at all. That also helps. Okay, and I think what I might try to do, well, I was going to say I might try to take some of the dots and just go over that, but being I don't have my Stampin' Scrub in here, I can't clean those stamps, so I'm just going to let it go like that. Then I've also stamped off camera another one of these. Now I'm going to cut them using my square framelits, but something that I want to tell you is that if you, the one cuts that square out in the center, but the other one wants to leave a small margin of white around the edge. If that doesn't bother you, then you can actually use two of these to cut that out. So I'm going to put those through my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what I came up with, which I don't think I'm going to like, but just so you can see what it looks like. So using the, let's see, I'm going to bring that in a little bit. Using two of the square Thinlits dies, the bigger one cuts so that you can still see the little feet here and the top of the easel there. So don't think I'm going to like that. I'm probably going to want to trim that off, but I did want to show you what it looked like in case that did not bother you. And then this one pops right out. Okay, so if you were to put this on here, it's going to look like that, which, you know, might be fine for some people, but for me, I want to trim it off. So let me just do that real quick with a pair of snips. And my recommendation is to use the layering square framelits to cut that inside piece before, if you're going to use the snips, before you cut the outside. It just gives you a little bit more paper to hang on to, and it'll just make it a little bit easier. Easier is always better. Okay. Oops, move all this over to the side. All right, so now what we want to do is take a piece of window sheet. You can see that. And this is going to measure the exact size of your frame. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. Okay. I'm going to use green glue, or my multi-purpose adhesive. And you just want to use this sparingly, because if it gets on your window sheet, you will be able to see it. Leaves kind of a not so attractive mark. Okay, and just lay this right down on top of that. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I just want to show you the layering squares framelits. So this is what you get in a package, and what I've done is, so that I can keep them straight, is I've marked, you can see this, a little pink mark on all of these and a green mark. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you can see that, but little green mark on all of these. And I've done the same thing with this one. Green on one, pink on the other. Now, the one that you're going to use for the window card is going to be in this pack. So you'll notice there's 5 here, 4 here. You're going to be using this center one to cut the frame, okay? So that's a little easier for you rather than trying to figure out which one it is. Okay, so I think that this now is dry. So the next thing that we want to do is I get to show you a brand new product, which I absolutely love. These are called foam adhesive strips. Now they're like dimensionals, but they are strips instead of, okay, if I can get it out here. Sorry, I should have done that beforehand. There we go. So you can see they're in strips, so you won't have to save the edges of your dimensionals any longer. We're just going to take one of these off. Now, to do a window sheet this size, you don't actually need this whole thing, but it's easier just to go ahead and peel it off and then trim it as you go. Alright, so the way I like to do this is to actually put it down here on the frame and trim it. The trick to a shaker card, a successful shaker card, is to make sure that these pieces are butted up tight together so that nothing can squeeze out when you shake it. Especially if you're using like micro beads, then it's really, really important to get those butted up really close together. Actually, I'm going to make a little adjustment on this one. There we go. Alright, and that in there real nice and tight. But try also at the same time to keep it in the black section of your frame here so that you don't see it once we get it filled and turn it over. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to bring it up tight to this edge right here and cut and just press it down. Make sure that it's good and tight. Okay. All right. Then to fill it, what I did was I took some scrap, put that up there, Peekaboo Peach and some scrap sugar plum, sweet sugar plum, and I put it through my confetti star punch. Now I know that I had some of this extra somewhere, but when I went to make this card, I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to punch some more, and you want to have something, a piece of paper or something that obviously you can catch it in. This is one of those punches that works a little hard, so you're going to need to probably press with both hands. You might even need to stand up to do this one. And then some Peekaboo Peach. Also, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you know that we often get sequins in our Paper Pumpkin kits, and there's usually always extra. So what I like to do is to use my extras in my shaker cards. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in here, and I will say less is best. You don't want to have so much in there that you cover up you know, your message. And then I'm going to take a few of my Paper Pumpkin sequins, because that's just going to make some a really pretty combination. A few of those in there. Okay. then the next step is we're going to peel the sticky piece off the top. Now sometimes that'll just come off when you're adhering this, but try to keep it on, because if you can keep it on, it makes it a little easier. Your filler won't get stuck on the top here, and there we go. All right, then we're just going to take our window and we're going to put it right over, excuse me if I get my head in here, but hopefully I don't, right over the top of the existing frame, and then just press down tightly. Okay, and there's your shaker card. Cute, right? I love shaker cards. Okay, then we're going to take the background, the card front, I should say. Put some adhesive on the back. I would like to use the Tombow adhesive because now that we've got a window on the front of it, it makes it a little hard to apply a snail. Just center that. And there you have it. Your shaker card. So I hope you all have enjoyed that tutorial, that video. I hope that you'll come back and visit me again. And if you did enjoy the tutorial, I hope that you'll leave me a thumbs up or a comment. And you can also join me on my blog at www.otobestampin.com. If you'd like, there is also a place in the upper left-hand corner of my blog where you can sign up for my newsletter. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you come back real soon.